Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be having a quick update on the tropics here. We now have Tropical Depression 25 and also we're still watching the secondary disturbance as well that could develop into something as well. Now let's go ahead and get started with the National Hurricane Center tropical weather outlook here. Now I can't quite click on 25 on this graphic here because it's getting overlapped with this right here. But am I able to do it with the 2-day outlook here? Here we go. So, here we go. Let's take a look to 25 here. Right now has maximum sustained winds of 35 miles an hour. It's got a pressure of 1,005 millibars moving northwest at 8 miles an hour. Meanwhile, it got this disturbance back here, which got a medium chance of developing in the next 5 days, which is a 40%, and it got a low end 10% chance of developing in the next 48 hours. So, we'll be keeping an eye both of these systems here very closely here. And let's go on ahead and take a look into 25 first. So here's the infrared satellite imagery right here. You can see it's getting quite organized here. Got a lot of thunderstorm activity out there. This thing is good to go of start to gain some strength here before it might make landfall very soon here into Mexico. Now this is the National Hurricane Center's Conan vicinity forecast. And as you can see here, it may make landfall into Mexico here, but then it'll go back over the waters again into the southwestern portions of the Gulf of Mexico here. So we're still keeping an eye on this here very closely here. I'll say at this point here, there's not really a threat to the United States at this point, although I will still watch this very closely here because some models are showing different solutions to this here, which we'll be taking a look into now. And this is the hurricane model's forecast track. You can see here, one model's bringing it to the north, probably the most unlikely solution with this here, but you can see the majority of the models make a hard westward turn towards the western portions of the Gulf there. And we're going to see what it's going to do from there because some models do predict it may just stay stationary in that region there. It may just die out. So that's one possibility there. Here's the Gfs Ensemble. So you can see the members are all over the place. You can see here a few of those members make landfall anywhere from the Panhandle of Florida all the way into Texas there, but we're not really going to quite know if this thing's going to make landfall or not because it actually may not make it through some wind shear. There's wind shear forecasted in the western Gulf area where this thing here will be going to. And we'll take a look into the GFS on that. And you can see here, really the reds there, that's very high amount of wind shear. So, or you could say very strong wind shear there. And you can see here, wind shear just dominates the entire Gulf. And you can see where the system's going to. It hits wind shear on the northern and western side, then starts to move to the west and still hits with some wind shear. And then eventually wind shear starts to get into the circulation of the storm and it basically just dies out and you can see your remains makes landfall into Mexico. That's one solution there. And if we kind of take a look into some other models here, like the Canadian for example, if we kind of continue here, you can see here it kind of stays stationary by Mexico, then just completely dies out. That's another possibility there as well. And the European model is a little bit similar to the Canadian model. You can see here it stays stationary over Mexico and pretty much just dies out from there. So the good news is so far there's not really a threat to the United States, but we'll still be keeping an eye on the system here very closely because things could change with Tropical Depression 25. It could still go anywhere in the Gulf of Mexico like the Gfs Ensemble is showing here. So, and again, anybody in the Gulf still needs to watch Tropical Depression 25 very closely, but for right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to make a threat to U.S. landfall. But you see here, some of those members do make landfall to the United States, and that's something we'll be watching for very closely here. Here's the parallel GFS ensembles that you can see here what I'm talking about here. Some of those members do continue to move to the north, but I would rather follow the hurricane models here. You can see here only one of those models do bring it to the north, so we're going to watch that very closely there, see if models do trend that way or still continue to have a sharp westward turn. But again, we'll be watching Tropical Depression 25 very closely. So let's talk about Disturbance. Yesterday it was called Disturbance 2, now it's called Disturbance number 1. There's still very high uncertainties with this system here, so let's take a look into that. We don't have hurricane models on the system because it's not named as an invest or a depression or anything like that yet. So we're just going to be looking at global models on this one. So here's the Canadian model. Now this is uh, October the 7th, Thursday evening. And as you can see here, it's just by Mexico. It's right here. And as you can see here, it just kind of stays stationary over the Gulf of Mexico a little bit. Then eventually makes landfall into the Panhandle, Florida. That's a possibility. That could happen, but this is still an outlier. But my main concern about this here is it's been very consistent with the solution here, the Canadian, and we don't really quite have a good agreement on where this thing is going to be going. Let's take a look into a GFS model here. See, there goes what more than likely become a tropical storm Gamma right there. You can see her dives into the Gulf, and you can see her. It doesn't quite show it at all, but here it is. This is where that disturbance is forecasted by the GFS model here. It goes through Jamaica, then eventually through Cuba. Here's your remains of the system right here. And just makes landfall by Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. So, two completely different solutions here by the Canadian and the GFS models here. Now, at around the same time, with the GFS model here, it doesn't show that much of any wind shear, so there could be a little bit dry air involved here, but it's still a completely different solution here than what the Canadian model is showing. What does the European model say? Here it is right here. You can see here, it makes landfall to Mexico, then eventually kind of keeps its strength here, starts to gain a little bit of strength over the southwestern portions of the Gulf, and eventually moves to the northeast. But again, this is 10 days out, so this will likely change, so we just don't really know if this will make landfall to the United States yet, since this is still far out. But we'll be keeping an eye on the system here very closely here as well. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Quick announcement real quick. There'll be no video tomorrow. I will see if I can make a video on Sunday if I have enough time. So just want to let you guys know about that. If you guys would like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.